Chapter 5. Gold and Jello Shots. Halloween, October 31st, 2025. Mortlake Amateur Rowing Club, West London, United Kingdom. Exactly 113 years and 199 days since the tragic sinking of the RMS Titanic. Hugh knew he wasn't in the same time period he'd been in when he died. Although the whole ordeal was traumatizing and the details slightly hazy, he knew it was Finnegan when he saw him. He was a canny fellow, so assumed this was some gift from God and it was the real Finnegan, only his memory had been wiped or changed. Perhaps this was God's way of preserving their childhood memories and saving them from the trauma of the fateful night on April 14th, 1912. It had been a thunderous crash, akin to the booming voice of St. Patrick as he called the Lord's prayers and good news in ancient times. He knew he wasn't alive. That was the whole point in him being here, being eternally punished by the devil or by God for his prideful sin of going against his will. He shouldn't have boarded the Titanic, especially after receiving a rejection letter from White Star Lines. He should have foretold what the signs were, that the ship would sink. He put it from his mind. He barely had anything on him aside from his clothes, but upon reaching into his pocket, he found a 1912 George V sovereign gold coin. Not a huge amount, but a fair week's wage in his time. He knew this whole thing would be fleeting, so decided to treat Finn to a few drinks to toast their merry encounter. He and Finn had stayed outside next to the side entrance on some comfortable seating. It was inexplicably warmed by bizarre lamppost-shaped devices which emitted strong heat but didn't give any emissions. A lot was fairly new to him and many things were entirely beyond his comprehension. For example, the small looking glass device that Finn kept taking out of his pocket. Perhaps he was worried about his outfit, Hugh thought, and needed to check his face in the rectangle looking glass that emitted a bright light. While Finn was in the bathroom, which had plumbing and actual working taps of hot water, no less, he decided to brave the bar and order some drinks for them both. He was still in England, he knew that much, meaning he'd be able to use the 1912 George V sovereign. He was sure of it. He approached the bar and tried to order some whiskies. Neat, on the rocks, a timeless drink, he was certain. Then he tried to pay. "That'll be £7, mate," the barkeep said to him. He must have been confused. Surely. That was a month's wages, or more. "I've only got £1. What can I get?" He responded, sheepishly but politely. The guy behind the bar laughed. It was Halloween, so he obviously took it as some historical script that Hugh was adhering to. "A Jello shot. You can get one shot, or a bag of crisps." By now, Hugh had adapted to some of the weird words they used. Finn had said some very worrisome words which he didn't like but assumed it was some modern fashion. He went along with it. At this moment, a girl next to him screamed with a loudness that deafened his ears. "Oh my god, is that a gold sovereign?" Hugh responded. Yes, useless here, can't buy anything." The girl looked like she'd just found a treasure chest of gold. She obviously knew that Hugh didn't know its true worth, but tried to hide it. "Useless? Yeah, sort of. I collect coins. This one is rare. Can I take a look?" He was taken aback at her brashness. Women in his time weren't this forward, and certainly wouldn't have been so bold as to initiate a conversation with him. The modern world confused him. "For sure, if you can make anything good come of it, be my guest." The girl responded, feigning ignorance at its true value, which was around £400 to any good coin collector. "Tell you what, it's Halloween, so I'll do you a deal. I'll give you £50 right now for it. Here you go." She handed him a bunch of random notes he hadn't ever seen before. These weren't the typically large and cumbersome notes of 1912, but smaller, more compact and less worn ones. To him, £50 was enough to live off for a few years in relative luxury. He accepted, silently wondering at her stupidity. He then returned back to Finn with 4 double measures of whisky in one hand and 2 jello shots. Even though he didn't know what they were, he resigned to the fact he'd have to embrace some of the modern world. Lord help me, he thought. This was his last chance to spend an evening with Finnegan. He had to make a good impression. He couldn't believe how gullible these English girls were, exchanging 6 of those measly coins for £300. It was more money than he'd ever seen in his life. He was going to treat his boy to a proper good night. Thank the Lord for girls who liked useless gold coins. Bloody English. What are they like?